Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Alliance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. It's Sunday in the shop, about 8:30. Pretty balmy, 80 degrees and humidity in here. But, I think we're going to have what should be a relatively quick tool haul, kind of a lot of repeat offenders, if you will. Sort of with a spin on them, and a couple of new items though. And what we've got going, we have got DRPD, that's right, sourced everything, almost everything you're going to see here from DRPD. And spoiler alert, it is largely PB Swiss and Koken. Koken sticker just fell, so my apologies. But if I lean down over here, we're going to get started, I guess, with the most inexpensive item. This is actually from PB Swiss. That's usually not two things that go together. Inexpensive and PB Swiss, but here we are. And price on this thing, I want to say, was like just north of $5, and it kind of looks subtly different in person than it did online. Still not bad and pretty unique. This is a special edition BitBlock, and the color I chose is Tahoe. I didn't want to like go all in and pick up like the whole set. They've got some funky ones like coffee or toffee, toffee, Bordeaux, who knows. But what we have is this. As literally, it's just like a special colored BitBlock. Now the catch is, I've never had one of their BitBlocks, so naturally I'm kind of curious how the thing functions. I believe there's, I can't think of the name of the container, but there's like a bit box for all intents and purposes that would hold these bit sleeves. And together they would, you know, be really cool looking. This one, to me, it was like the neatest color. Again, it's close to what it looked like online, but not quite. Still very happy with it. It's sort of like an aquamarine teal type of a color. And my thoughts were like, hey, you know, if I like that thing, I could potentially populate it, see if it meets my criteria, and then go in and potentially pick up like the larger holder. And then let's say that we come in, this is a bit of thanks. This one, just so we know, I can tell by the writing it's VIT. Passed my test initially. Okay, we're going to come in here. This one, it's VIT as well. These are all bit of things that we're sticking in here. Let's just, you know what, let's actually have it side by side just to check, test everything. Looks pretty good. Now right here, if I painfully turn around, in this Hazette, we've got, boom, updated mechanism, but a PB Swiss bit. Now this one, as you can see, number 2 Phillips, a little bit different, but despite the tall profile, which may not allow a lid to close right, you've got this. Now picture this in a bag, in a toolbox. Let's say that you want Phillips and Pawsey in aquamarine teal, or as they're calling it, Tahoe. Let's say that you want your slotted in red, you want your Torx in yellow, hex in green. Very, very simple for you to color code kind of what you have. Now, if we come in here, this is where I've got a big stash of the current bit of things from KC Tool, which is the Vera with the Take It Easy tool finder. Let's say that you're big into Vera bits and you love the Take It Easy tool finder. Well, that will still fit, is not impacted at all. Nothing is coming out, which is what I was concerned about. It's not coming out that way either. Is a bit of flex there, but again, with that bottom reinforcement, it kind of keeps it all intact. So Vera bits, Take It Easy tool finder, Hazette with their color coding, PB Swiss, of course, would look magnificent here. Standard bits, stuff RBRT, whatever. These are available. They are relatively inexpensive if you're anti-magnet. And I don't mean that negatively. There might be situations where you do not want a magnetized bit, right? Or a magnetized screw head type of a thing, or it's an annoyance or a detriment to you. This is a good way to store these bits and keep them away from magnets, right? Most of the time you're going to have something kind of like what I have sitting over here from Olsa, this little bit boss thing. Of course, Ernst, you can go that route. But if you just needed something slim and trim and you thought, man, what a waste of my socket boss, I don't want to tear that down and have the bit buddy, I just need like a handful of bits, like say you needed 5 bits, throw it in here, maybe have a backup for each one, you're done. All right, so slim and trim. If we took this guy out, that is conceivably EDC sized. I will caution, you know, it may not be the best idea, you know, for pockets. I say this is a guy with gaping holes in my jeans. Sadly, inverting it, as you might have guessed, with the quarter hex profile at the base, it's not going to retain things as well, so it is what it is. But side by side bit of things, it's a go, it's a win. PB Swiss, again, if you're heavily invested in PB Swiss bits and you've always been like, man, I wish I could color code these things, they're all red, this is an opportunity for you to do just that. But as you can see, side by side, no issues. I'm a happy camper, so I'll investigate the pricing, what I would be looking at, you know, for like the proper case for these, and we'll either go that route or I will just stick with these. So I'll try to kind of think about what I want to do. Keep in mind, the PB Swiss bits are often like special colors, and what I mean by that, it's not necessarily like a take it easy tool finder, but like these metric hex, your eyes don't deceive you, that's like rainbow unicorn purple. Right, they look really cool. It's sort of like a iridescent type of a thing, but it's something you gotta factor in that, hey, you know, this is important. How do I want to proceed? So keep that in mind. But pretty happy with that so far. Next item, sticking with the new, I was very excited about this, and it's similar to this. This right here is the beloved Pocket Pro from Stabila. You can get this, there's a KC Tool branded one. I think it's still around. I don't know that they ever did a special color in the Pocket Pro. I wish they would. But I love this thing. If you're thinking like, oh, that's kind of bulky, what's the catch? Well, this is actually in like a pocket clip, right? So overalls, trousers, pants, jeans, cargo pants, tool bag, whatever you want to equip this thing to, you can holster it. Now, if we take it out of the holster, it's much more slim, much more trim. You can see yellow casing top, and on this side, right here, V-slotted very subtly on both sides. So again, you can orient it in either configuration, 90 degrees to your liking. These things are sometimes on tool of the day. When they are, they're not much off. However, your initial expenditure is like 20 to 25 bucks. Sometimes on tool of the day they're like 19, which actually is a good price for this. So Stabila stuff, very, very rare to see it discounted, on sale, clearanced out. Every once in a while, yes, but not. You could go to Vera right now, Knipex, Stabila, any of the big brands, and it may not be something you want, or maybe something you've already got, but you can find stuff that's like discounted, clearanced, on sale. There's frequent sales. With this, no. All right, maybe it's different across the pond. Maybe, you know, in Germany they're on sale all the time, but like here in the North American marketplace, at least with what I can monitor at KC Tool, like this stuff is premium, top tier pricing, and it tends to stay that way. So you're thinking like, well, okay, that's a cool segue, you know, but the yellow, not really my thing. Well, if that's the case, or you're interested in what I was, I think you will enjoy this. Now, to my credit, I really do try to not look like an idiot sometimes. Not all the time, but some of the time. And I looked up how to pronounce this, and that video was a flipping contradiction. You've got like the intro that's longer than the actual pronunciation segment, but you've got like the Japanese guy pronouncing it. I assume it's like an AI robot type of a thing. He sounds and pronounces this completely different than the narrator in the video, like completely. It's like if I spelled out tomato for you and I was like, now let's pronounce it. And it's like, I've got like the curated woman voice, and it's like, tomato, tomato. And I'm like, come back in narrator voice, and I'm like, wow, that's tomato. Let's say it together, tomato. And you're like, wait, what? You know, that was completely pronounced differently. And what I'm attempting to pronounce, and what I'm gonna guess is the way I was gonna do it to begin with, is Ebisu, or Ebisu. And it's probably some combination of those two, or completely 180 degrees opposite of it. And I don't know. I try not to be disrespectful to the companies. Interestingly, the other tidbit that I didn't ask for in the pronunciation video that failed to teach me how to pronounce the word, they claim the word is like for the Japanese god of luck and fishermen. I don't really understand the lore there, but kind of cool. I don't really know quite how it would tie in with this, but I'm sure there's a great story somewhere. It just probably needs to be connected for me. This thing, if I find my cheat sheet over here with pricing, $23.45, and we did buy this, of course, with a discount, so that was also discounted. These are street prices, not the sale prices. This is really cool for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's just so unique looking, and number two, the added utility on top of the standard Pocket Pro there. So from Ebisu, we've got their ED 10G HLMR, or there's lots of things that could be part numbers here. I'm going to go with that one. That one will be correct. It's what DRPD used. So if I set this thing down in front of you, swanky little package, right? And you're thinking like, whoa, twin vials. Yeah, twin vials, buddy. The catch with this one, this is a new addition to DRPD. When I bought this thing, it was really, really new. I'd seen it and I was like, whoa, what? When did this happen? And, you know, they added Vera, and then this was one of the ads kind of under the radar. And I'd never heard of the brand, and I'm excited to check it out. I will not lie, I have a plan, and I've always wanted to do it with a Stabila, but I'm like, oh man, I'd like hate if that thing fell or something. I kind of want to put it on the forklift, okay? And I don't mean like where I sit or anything, but like picture yourself sitting here behind the camera. You got your steering wheel here, you know, your knobs off to the side and everything. And then up in front of you, you know, you've got your mast, but then you've got that grate, okay? And you've got the slats that are vertical and everything. I kind of want to have something either on the top or the side of a slat. And it sounds really dumb. I've never had issues with the forklift before, especially ours, which is an open mast. You can actually see what you're picking up. That's why if you go from an open mast to a 3-stage, you're like, what idiot, you know, would want this, right? Ignoring the extra lifting capacity and height, you know, but if you've ever driven an open mast, you're like, what? You know, it's like you go from something with great visibility to a Camaro. You're like, whoa, you know, where blind spot, huh? You know, but what my problem is I almost, it seems like I live with extensions. Okay, so like 8 foot. I have to do some crazy stuff, and the problem is, when I was plucking metal off of a truck, literally metal, like a metal delivery, off of the truck, it was positioned way over. They had like a huge load that day. And so mine is like, you know, I have some of it here, the channel, and the angles over here, and then pipe. And anyway, I'm going to get it off. And one of the extensions, I guess it's just slowly over time kind of happened. One of them is fine. It's like mint minus the, you know, paint coming off of it. But the other one is like bent. And so, you know, you're sitting here and like when I go, it's the simplest of things where it's an annoyance, right? If I go to pick up just a perfectly bread and butter 4840, you know, center slat, outside slats, no issues, everything's fine. If I come in to pick it up, I don't care if it's empty and I'm just going to drive it out and stack it. I don't care if it has, you know, 6,000 pounds or 150 pounds. It's a situation where you drive in and where these should be parallel to the ground, meaning, you know, once you don't push the pallet forward or hit the pallet or hit your load, if you find that sweet spot, that's not really hard to find with an open mast, you go in. Well, here's the problem. Like, this side's going in and everything's fine over here on this fork, and then this one, you know, I'm like, oh, gee, you know, it drags. And it's really, really bad with, like, banding stuff, right? So we run 3/4 banding material. A lot of our loads, not all of them, but some of them get 3/4, and you typically run it, you know, 90 degrees from the side. And so what's never been a problem before, now, like, I'm constantly either hitting like a center board. It's really bad if it's a bad pallet, because I have more stuff that'll, you know, catch. Just imagine, you know, like if you're walking through life and this foot's flat, but this one's like pointed down at like a you know, 20-degree angle or something, it's very hard to work cohesively together, because in order for this to clear the bottom, you have to come up, and as you come up, you're going to hit a point where this now has lost its travel because it's straight. Okay. I keep wanting to try to bend it back. I think we should be able to. I just haven't had the time. But I was thinking, you know, like, you just work around it. It's really not as big a deal as it sounds. But I was thinking, if I could just put a frickin' level, like, on that grate, and realize, you know, like, okay, it's around this point where everything is kind of in symmetry. And here's the problem with the extensions when you do take them off. Sometimes they get switched, you know, so I try to keep the stupid annoying bent one on the same side, usually the left. And, you know, it doesn't always work that way, you know, like sometimes, you know, like coworkers will come and we'll have to like take them off so we can do something, like snake under something to lift a load weirdly or something, and then they'll put them back on and they switch them, and I'm like, oh no. You know, and it's something people don't really ever appreciate it till they're driving, or like when I've got a load going in and they're like, you know, I come out and they're like, whoa, that thing is bent, and it's like, I know, that's what I always complain about. You know, it's like when the trucks back up too far, and you know, there's like that little incline, you got the shop floor and then your landing pad and everything, and just like that tiny little chunk, I mean, it's about the height of that Stabila level is all, and it's radiused and real smooth, you know, but that drastically changes the fork and load position in relation to the trailer. You know, like the forklift goes from perfectly flat to down like this to now like this, so you have to adjust and compensate. And if you drive the forklift on the daily, I'm sure you can relate. But that's kind of what I'm hoping I could do with this thing. And I didn't know if I would love this thing too much to send it out there, because my fear is, if, you know, if the magnet goes, or it tilts weird, or gets knocked off by something, I don't know what'll happen. Like, I'm probably not going to notice, and then I run the risk of, like, just destroying the thing. You know, forklift tires not going to be very forgiving. But I thought I would give it a try. The yellow goes great with a cat. Don't get me wrong. Perfect color scheme. This would stand out a little bit more. I've said many times, I'm an Empire guy. I love the Empire True Blue, not only the way it looks, it's performed, it's what I'm familiar with. It would also stand out. I have not been able to, I haven't tried really hard, but like, you know, you walk in and it's like everything is 6 or 8 inches on the smallest side. I've never seen one of these, like an Empire, like that small, and I don't often see them with 2 vials. Now, this thing has a crazy feature. It's kind of like through their lineup. I don't know if that's going to be conveyed in English. I think it's this picture here. And you're like, yeah, that's the vial, idiot. Yeah, it totally is. But apparently, and I read this around the time I ordered, when these are exposed to light, I assume any light, they maintain like photoluminescence, right? So just picture it sort of glowing, I guess. I don't know that I can properly convey it. I've not even gotten to play around with it, but it's super cool. And it's also talked about here. You can see the glow, you know, and you're like, wow, that does look neat. But I can't read that. I don't know what it says. If someone can, and you would like to translate that for everyone watching, by all means, please do so. You will be much appreciated. I can provide you no translation there. Clearly, this is a Japanese product, and it is intended for the Japanese domestic market. And DRPD was like, hey, these are cool levels. I think I want to sell them, and here we go. So I can tell you quality and technology, and telephone, fax, and the website. And it's made in Japan. So there we go, right? It's about the best I can do. We're going to roll with that. I always love Japanese packaging. It's like bright and colorful most of the time. Super neat. Let's see here. Oh, this is all a fold out. All right, that's cool. Maybe, do we get English here? A little bit. You know, the measuring scale, it's metric, so I'm not going to count that as English. That's foreign language to me, just like all of this. Let's see here. Teach your kids to play with levels. Pretty sure that's what that would say. You know, I don't know if I've ever seen a vial crack and violently shoot the liquid, but I guess I would want to wash my eyes if that happened. Celsius, I'm a Fahrenheit guy. You know, just basic stuff. We don't need to worry about it. But right here, I was looking for anything like this. The sun. I don't know if it's saying don't leave it out in the elements, probably is what it was doing there. I don't know if that's electro. I have no idea. Yeah, but you get the idea by this picture that there's something with the vial, hopefully. And that's what I want to check out. So, sunset is not yet, but it was getting kind of hazy. Supposedly have some rain chances coming in. There's the magnet. This one has a little bit more aggressive of a V-notch. It might actually work good for like exhaust stuff. Roll cages, something like that. Something that kind of bothers me, but I know they had to do it, is like, see how this is centered, the level, right, between my thumbs? And then see how that's not centered? Like there's way more material here compared to there. And you think, dude, they didn't center that. That's going to drive me nuts. You know? I agree, but why did they not center it like the Stabila or any other level you would hopefully have? It's because you've got the vertical vial. So then it becomes like, oh, well, yeah, you know, that's totally acceptable. So I don't know how well it's going to work for what I want to do. I do dig the thing. They've got multiple finish outs. They have some other colors too. This is what Mike had, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll run with it. You know, red is sort of a work color, so it's fine. And again, it high contrast versus the yellow of the cat. But I'm kind of excited. I think this is a pretty cool little deal here. And again, you know, it'll either work or it won't. In terms of size comparison, let's get this out of the... Woo. We about had the projectile vial there, right? Your size comparison is right here. If we come in the protective end cap, it's basically the same thing, you know, space-wise. They have some really swanky looking aluminum ones. Maybe it's not that much more aggressive. It's probably some standardized deal. But yeah, do have the ability to hang it. We shall see. I'm kind of, part of me is tempted to run outside and throw this in the waning sunlight and bring it back in with the lights out. And, oh, dude, do you see that? Well, I can't really... Huh. I don't know. I don't think I could get the Stabila to do that, could I? It's one of those things. I'm going to have to play with it, but it seems really cool. Like a trivial little feature, but stupid cool. So, yeah, that does kind of have like some sci-fi nuclear glow to it that I do dig. Anything dorky like that, bonus points, you know. So, man, I don't know how we wound up spending 22 minutes on those two items, but we did. Maybe I should just do that. Maybe we should just have like new from DRPD type of a thing, or limited edition, you know, DRPD. Because the Coke and sticker did fall, right? Maybe it was a sign. And I could totally go put this outside. You know what? I think we're going to call it here. We did the two new things. I've got some Coke and stuff coming. Because I don't want to drag this out, you know. This way it's like new and fresh for you. But I'm going to quickly go... Dang it, it's night. So it is after sunset, but there's still daylight. That's the way I do things until you can't see. You know, I'm gonna go play around with this thing, and if I like figure it out, or I like get it to look cool with the lights out or something, I'll fire this thing back up. So let me know your thoughts on this though. These little bit blocks, are you a PB Swiss bit block person? Doesn't have to be this color, could totally be the standard ones. If you weren't, or you didn't know they existed, and you're like, dude, that would be perfect for my mobile set, or good lord, look how slim that is. I can keep 10 bits. I'll just slide that in my back pocket. I'll slide it in, you know, my Vito bag, whatever. What are your thoughts on it, and what are your thoughts on these special edition colors? If I'm not mistaken, when I link to this on DRPD, you should see all of the special colors. I don't know how limited they are. I don't know, like, it's a time deal, if it's just a set quantity. So if you're interested in these, again, they're $5. Yeah, you could argue that's expensive, but by all intents and purposes, PB Swiss wise, it's reasonable. So do with that what you will. Let me know your thoughts on it. Similarly, and be honest here, like, have any of you used this brand before? Okay, I don't know that it's outside of like the Japanese Tool superfan people. I don't even know if anyone had heard of this. Maybe you have. Again, to me, a level has been like Empire or whatever my suppliers have, preferably Empire. Of course, with German tools, I was introduced to Stabila. I'm sure there are some others I run. I've got cheap ones from Harbor Freight, and I've got other no-name ones. I've got some that are probably named that rubbed off, and I have no idea what they are. But Empire, that's kind of been my go-to. Stabila stuff's been great to me. And my little cheap ones, honestly, haven't been bad. The magnets usually come out with subtle differences versus, you know, like a name brand, you know. But these are, like I said, if you go to their website, you can check out what DRPD has, but if you go to like the Ebisu, assuming I'm pronouncing it somewhat correct, website, they have some really cool stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go play with this thing though, see if I can get photoluminescence figured out. And I'll be back if I do. If not, let me know your thoughts on this stuff. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. You can find us online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. Website, of course, lonestarmopars.com. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. Maybe this is your first experience seeing Ebisu levels. You know, maybe it'll turn out you're like, man, I always wanted red, you know, finally. And I will say this, I remembered this, clicking the gears in my head. They have some levels that have like a red. It really looks more like a pink. If you picture like a, you know what red does, it like fades. And but picture the vial, instead of being blue like the true blues from Empire, green like a traditional level. It's like this, almost like a salmon pink, but like in a cooler color hue than that. So if there's anything there that you see, you know, hit up DRPD, tell them like, hey, you know, I watched that idiot make another video, you got this Ebisu brand, and I want you to bring this stuff in. They're fairly receptive to that. You know, they might say like, whoa, no, they've got like a huge catalog, we can't do it. Or they might be like, okay, yeah, we'll bring that in for you. But they've got multiple colors of there's really cool stuff. I won't spoil it for you. I'll let you figure it out for yourself. And who knows, maybe next video I'll have something else from them in here. But I kind of think I'm going to take this to work and see how it goes. So, with that said, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Most importantly, I hope I catch you back here for more action from the shop and more DRPD tool hauls. Oh yeah, bonus time. You know it's going to be good. I don't know that the camera will convey this. I also don't know if it does, it will convey how cool it is. First thing first though, is I'm sitting here like, okay, how am I going to traipse through a cluttered shop and get back to the desk? Light switch is on the complete other side of the shop from where I film. I thought, okay, let me get a flashlight, and I was like, oh no, let me be lazy and try to find better ways. So I'm over here by the light switch. I stepped outside, I held this to the waning sunset, sadly cloud cover came in. I stepped back inside, I shut the light off. This thing is glowing. Like, it was mainly the top vial, not this one, which was strange. Like, this was like totally black to me, but that one was like, whoa, this is cool. And the thing that might be even more amazing than that, this level is sticking in this orient. Like, my hand is here, okay? Like, the gloved hand is on the camera. I don't have a tripod. This hand is over here. This is the door, and this thing is sticking in that orientation. And you're thinking like, well, it's got magnets. I'm like, yeah, it has magnets on that side. You know, like right here, you can see the magnets, but there's either one embedded in the plastic or that thing is just strong enough to hold. But I'm hoping this works. I'm going to kill this, and we will see if you can pick it up. Barely. You do see what I see, right? Like, I'm trying to autofocus on that. It's coming and going. It's like glowing. Okay, I know you just, if you see what I see through this camera screen, it's just this faint green glow. And holy frick, is it cool. Like, it's way better in person. If I get up here and you kind of have like, I guess it's reflecting off of the aluminum or something. Yeah, I'm not going to do it justice, but oh jeez. It's totally irrelevant to the function of the level. And I don't know that, you know what? Let me see. I know you're not going to be able to see Jack here. If I stick my head close enough to this, I can actually see the bubble and I can barely, I do mean barely, make out the lines. I could potentially level something in the dark, provided this thing had been within like sunlight or, you know, fluorescent light or some light source. I don't know how long it maintains that. I don't know, like, if it works better, like if I would have thrown this outside for an hour and then come in and film this, it would have been like super cool. It's very possible. My apologies. If I like soak this in like some super bright work light, if it would be better. I'm not really seeing that one. Let me, yeah, that one up top is great. This one's like non-existent. I don't know if maybe they just do that in one vial, or I need to play around some more. I might set this thing outside on the asphalt at work tomorrow for a little bit, maybe in the morning. I don't want it to like melt or get hailed on. I think the storms come around too, which is early for us. But this is cool, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. But I realize there's a very good chance that even though I see it now on the camera, when you watch this on the video, there may not be jack there. I promise you, if you pick one of these up, and I'm not commissioned, okay, this isn't a deal where it's like, oh, that idiot screwed me out of, you know, 23 bucks, so you just wanted a few pennies, or no. I don't have some like inside, I don't get paid. If DRPD had 80 of these things sitting on the shelf, and you that watch this video went and bought them, and you all told like, hey, I bought this because that dude made a video on it, I don't see a dime. Maybe he's like, oh man, thanks, you know, I was worried no one was going to buy those. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But there's like no monetary benefit to me. But if you're into tools or just like nerdy sci-fi, like cyber stuff, like this is pretty sweet. And I'll leave it at that because I'm now over here far from the fan, and it's hot. So very excited about this thing. Again, I'm hoping I might have to shoot Mike an email and be like, dude, you got to get the green one, because I'll tell you right now, there's a green one. I think that would sell pretty damn good, provided people find it and know about it. But yeah, just super, super cool. So I'll quit rambling. And I can only assume if you're on this channel after all these years, you probably find this stuff as exciting as I do. So thank you. Thank you for being similar minded to me. But for everyone else, yeah, there's just a bunch of idiots watching a level in the dark that closed green that seem way too excited about it. But for me, this is pretty cool. So I'll end it on that. If you pick one of these up and you're like, well, that is sweet, please come back to the comment section and vouch for me, especially if that did show up all black when I go to edit it or something. Just let people know, like, I'm not crazy, it's green and it's cool. But with that said, thanks for watching. I'll catch you back for more from the shop.